Today we are talking about flying monkeys. Hey, Charmaine.
Hi, Francesca.
I know you want to talk about this. So let's start with what are flying monkeys? Like, let's start on where does this come from?
Right. So the term flying monkeys comes from Wizard of Oz. The Wicked Witch of the West had flying monkeys that she sent out to pick up Dorothy, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, Toto, and the Lion, and bring them right back to her tower. And basically, what flying monkeys are a group of people who do the narcissist dirty work. So their image will still remain flawless, untarnished, perfect, but everybody else is talking about the victim and just basically doing whatever the narcissist wants them to do.
Can you give an
That's
example? Can you give an example?
okay. For an example, which I would say is true, um, he the abuser tells his friends, my wife slash partner, whatever, does this, and lists out a thing, maybe make believe things. And the flying monkeys go around telling different people who are either connected to the couple or connected to one of them, and then tarnish their image with things that are not true at all. So basically, they do the dirty work of ruining the reputation of the victim and making the narcissist look like the actual victim.
Yeah, and they know how to pick them. They know how to pick the right people to be their flying monkeys and the right people to create a smear campaign. They know who would be the right. So that's how manipulative they are. That it doesn't stay with just the partner, that the abuse is used in manipulating the people around them to do their dirty work, like you said. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And then they look like the little innocent people. And sometimes these flying monkeys can be family members. Actually, very often they are. Um, like let's say if there's a breakup, then the abuser's family member, one or two or three, will contact you and try to find out more about what's happening, or try to patch it. Oh, but I always liked you, or you were always my favorite. And they try to befriend you so they can get more information out of you, and then turn it on you. So that's another way. That's another way that is done. Uh, yeah, it's a very unfortunate thing when that happens. And so how do we deal with that? How do you deal with flying monkeys? What are your suggestions? I have mine. Maybe they're the same as yours, because I don't know. We haven't talked about this before.
Maybe, maybe. But let's define smear campaign. Smear campaign is basically when the flying monkeys go around spreading vicious rumors about the victim and making the victim look like the abuser. So when rumors, lies, whatever it is to make that person look bad, the victim, that is what a smear campaign is. So what was your question again, Francesca?
What are your thoughts about how to deal with flying monkeys if you are the person who's being the target of the rumors and the smear campaign?
Initially, when you are being faced with a smear campaign and you're pitted against flying monkeys, and it's very difficult to know who's on your side and who's not. The personally, I mean, which helped me is again detachment. Uh, People are going to talk about you anyway. It doesn't matter what you do, what you don't do, and you just need to realize that no matter what no matter what you do and how much you stay away, people are just going to do it, and you need to just let them take its course, because how long are they going to continue talking about you, stalking you, bad mouthing you, spreading vicious lies? trying to bring you down, eventually they get fed up and they do go away. So it's just that period where you have to brave through a storm, walk through it, just do it with your head held high, and just come out of it as the bigger person. You just need to ignore it, and it is hurtful. I know it's hurtful, and it's a very vicious thing that someone has to face. I mean, I I was so upset about what was happening. I almost ended my life. But then I realized that there's so much more that's worth living for. And I just started ignoring them. And right now, as I speak, I still have people stalking me online. I still have people trying to figure out what I'm doing, what I'm up to, where I'm going, what I'm at. Am I dating? Am I single? So I know who they are, but I don't care. And you need to be you need to get yourself to that point where you're strong enough to just ignore them. Sometimes they may not go away, but most times they do. They just come completely kind of vanish, fly off like flying monkeys.
Yeah. Block them. Block as much as you can so you don't see any of it for your own mental health. So very good feedback there, Charmaine. But I would also add, the less you see, the better. And when you are I'm just going to say in the right, if you haven't done anything wrong, thing is, it may take years, but eventually people will see the truth. The truth will come out. So let them say what they say. Don't have to defend yourself. Just be the best person that you can be, and don't allow it to it just says everything about them and nothing about you, really. When there is that saying that if someone says something horrible about you, it says more about them than it does about you. So stick to that, remember that. And if we can remember that, even though it hurts when somebody says something absolutely horrible about us, just remember that the long term, in the long term, you're going to come out ahead and above. So rise above it right from the start. Don't let them drag you down into the mud by arguing and trying to defend yourself. Even if it's all lies, because that's typically what it is, or it's twisted information to make it look differently than what it is. Yeah, you have to be strong. But the thing is, here's the thing. I know we've covered a lot in the different episodes, and every single time we talk about a sign or situations, it feels like, oh, this feels so heavy. It always feels so heavy. It's like, how strong do you really have to be? Is there a breaking point? There was a time in my life where I felt I was shattered in more than a million pieces, and I could never be put back together again. Looking back, I know that I never broke, because we don't break. We are resilient. Maybe we get tears. Maybe we get this invisible scars. We have all these injuries, but we don't break. We're not breakable. I don't believe we're breakable if we don't allow it. So we are resilient enough that no matter how hard that metaphorical punch is coming, we can bounce back. And if we have the knowledge in advance, and we have ammunition, because then we know what's coming, we know what it looks like, and that's how we protect ourselves. Like, oh yeah, that's a rumor. Okay, I know that the way to handle this is by ignoring, blocking, not looking at it, rise above it, don't engage. Eventually that will come, the truth will come out, or who cares? They're not part of my circle anymore, right? So yeah, that's my bit. You're being very quiet there, Charmaine. I see a big smile, but you're being very quiet.
No, I was just thinking about what you said about how difficult it is. when it's happening, it is very difficult, and you feel like there is absolutely no way forward, and you feel like you're you feel like you're being trapped. It just feels really suffocating, and it feels like you're being weighed down and you're never going to get out of it. But you just need to keep rising. As Francesca said, you just need to keep rising, and that's all. Onwards, upwards, forward, always, always moving ahead. Don't stop and don't look back. Once you start moving ahead, keep moving ahead. If you have to look back to see how far you've come. But don't look back to go back. Always keep moving forward and keep rising.
Okay, you know what? Those are such wise words that we're going to leave it with that for this episode. Thank you, Charmaine.
Thank you, Francesca.